Good morning, dreamers. Oh, my computer's trying to start things up right now. How are you today? I hope you're well. It's the first, we call it the first real snowfall because it's the snow that's stuck on the ground. But yes, we have snow on the ground here. There was a great snowfall on Saturday as well, but it didn't last. I had to scrape in the morning or just brush the car off in the morning, but it did not last. This one, it won't last too long. It'll probably be gone by the end of the day. Who knows? But snow. The week of first snowfall is really actually quite special to me. I view it as the changing of seasons. The change can be beautiful. I struggle with change. I don't enjoy it. There's been an awful lot of change in my home in the past year, and for the most part, it's been amazing. But I balk. I just want things to go slowly so that it doesn't feel like things have changed overnight. Um, but if I sit and reflect on all the changes I've been through, and we've done a good job, and the changes have been for the good. And so when I see the snow, I think, yeah, change can be beautiful. Change can be a wonderful, wonderful thing. Sometimes change brings with it fear. And what is fear actually saying? Because often when fear shows up, fear is just the loud cousin speaking on behalf of a different emotion. So, what's the other emotion? You know? And sometimes fear is fear. And sometimes it's just nervous excitement that comes out in a sharper tone that sounds like fear, or sounds like anger, or sounds like. And actually, what I meant to say was anger is the emotion, the loud cousin that shows up, and it's usually talking for fear. But I was chatting with a friend yesterday, and we were talking about how I really need to be on top of my meds this time of year as change occurs and as the weather is adjusting, which means the atmosphere is feeling different on my body. Um, yeah, I really have to be careful. I got a treatment on Monday and it exhausted me. It was really, really good. It was an excellent treatment. I would suggest it to anyone, but I've been wiped ever since. It feels like I ran a half marathon. And I didn't. I was literally on a medical massage table for half an hour, and I feel like I'm recovering from running a half marathon on the weekend. And for those of you that don't know, I do know what that feels like because I used to run them. But I'm not 20 anymore. Anyway, I'm just saying change can be a beautiful, beautiful thing, but we need to take care of ourselves as the change is occurring in order for it to remain beautiful. But if you're balking something, if your negative emotions are showing up, they're not actually negative emotions. There's no good or bad emotions. They're just emotions, and they talk to you about what's going on in your system and in your spirit. And if you don't validate them, they can take over. And I was listening to an interview with Stephen Colbert and Michelle Obama, and she just talked about when we give fear too much power, because we give it too much of a place to stay in our minds, and we affirm our fears. Um, we have to acknowledge, but we don't need to affirm them, because affirmed things grow. That's why I'm so adamant as a mama bear that we affirm our children. Today's children, we love, accept, and affirm today's children, because they will grow into the human, they are already human, but into the adult human beings that they will become. And we can either help them grow, or we can shrivel them. And we don't, I believe shriveling is an unacceptable way to guide the next generation. And I think a lot of young people are fighting back right now because they see the false dichotomy of their leaders. And they hear, we affirm you, but you have to change and you have to A, B, C. Well, okay, but we were given an opportunity to figure out our way, to figure out our journey. And it's time to affirm people and let them and their creator figure out their journey. And there might be some snow for a while, but snow is a beautiful thing. Snow is a beautiful thing. And change can be too. Snow reminds me of fresh starts. It reminds me of play. It reminds me of joy, because you can play in snow. You can also jump in puddles. But that adult us kind of overtakes that inner child that wants to play. And so when I see rain, I don't always automatically go to the jumping in puddles. But when I see snow, the inner child wakes up a bit and says, I'm here. Let's do something fun. Do you want to build a snowman? Good thing I'm not being monetized anyway. But all of this is to say change is good. And if we affirm the emotions that are bringing us down, because we need to stay on our meds, we need to stay on our guard for depression this time of year, we need to stay on aware. If we affirm our emotions, they could grow. They will grow. But if we acknowledge them, they will give us the message we need to hear, and then they will disperse. And we affirm our own lives and what's happening in them as we take our journeys to Jesus and as we align ourselves with Him. Everything will work out. And no one needs to prove a point. No one needs to give anybody an explanation. It's a very freeing and peaceful way to live. And it gets us outside of our heads, outside of ourselves. And instead of looking this close to ourselves, we can see bigger picture. And we can look out the window and think, wow, change is beautiful. What do you need to acknowledge today? What do you need to affirm today to help it grow? And what should you not affirm today so that it doesn't grow? We are always affirming something. And if, for instance, this is just a for instance, I know everybody thinks I poop too many rainbows, but I'm a mama bear. I don't owe you an explanation. If I don't affirm my children, then I am affirming the fact that I feel God made some sort of error. And I'm actually affirming their bent to their individuality. I'm affirming their bent to wanting to do things on their own. Therefore, I'm affirming that lack of faith is acceptable. But if I affirm them, then I'm affirming their trust in the one who created them. I'm affirming that they have a place in this world, and I am affirming that they are on a trajectory that if they are there with God, will be the right one. What are we affirming? What are we not affirming? And what do we just need to acknowledge today? Sometimes we just need to acknowledge what we are and are not affirming. Anyway, that's a lot of A's for today. Go find someone with an A in their name and give them a hug. Know that I love you. Mwah. Bye.